Welcome everyone. We are here with James Steed, one of the most well-known and experienced English editors in Taiwan, maybe in the world. But James doesn't work editing just any text. Today, he almost exclusively focuses on the very difficult task of editing scientific and medical research papers, head for publication in journals around the world. His clients are mostly physicians who like doing medical research, though he also edits research in other areas of science and technology. Hello, James.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us here today.
You're welcome.
First of all, I have a question. I must ask you, are the rumors true?
Rumors?
Yeah, I have here you have a sort of an editing record. How many years have you been working as an editor? And the question is, how many papers have you edited in your career?
Well, when you start calculating it, when you start thinking about it, I've been teaching English at the university. I started teaching English at the university in 1975, and I was editing academic papers then. Then in 1994, I started editing scientific papers, mostly medicine. Back then, it was like 4 or 5 papers a week.
Oh.
Now it's about 3 papers a week because I need to relax a little bit. All right. So if you calculate just 3 papers a week for almost 30 years, that's about 4,500 papers.
Oh.
4,500 papers plus the author's responses to the peer reviews.
Oh God, so the rumors are true. 4,500, my God.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, isn't it? But I do have a life too. For example, I've got a retreat in the mountains. But most people don't know that. They just think that I'm an editing madman. And maybe I am sometimes. I feel like it.
Well, James, could you explain to our audience what it means to be an editor of scientific and medical research papers? What is it exactly that you do?
Well, many editors, they think their job is to be very nitpicky about the grammar, the punctuation, and the spelling. Their goal is to produce a paper that has correct English.
But isn't it that the purpose?
Yes, in many ways it is. But those editors only correct the English. They don't care about the message. I found out very early on that I cannot limit myself to that. For most of my life, I was a university English teacher.
Oh, so you mean you know what good English is?
No, that's not what I mean. I know that my clients are under great pressure to get their papers published and get promoted. They care about their research and they care about their careers. And if I were them and I cared so much about those things, I would want an editor that cared about them just as much as I do. So, way back in 1994 when I began, I made the conscious decision that I wanted to be, or I was going to be, one of those very caring editors.
Like almost like an advisor.
Yeah, almost. Like an advisor or a coach. I correct English, of course, certainly, but what I worry mostly about is their presentation. That means where the information is in the paper, their message, their logic, and their style. In fact, I concern myself with almost anything I think will help them get their papers published. Like I said earlier, most editors care only about the grammar, the punctuation, and the spelling. I do that too, but I call that housekeeping.
Oh, like a maid.
Like a maid or an apprentice. Almost anyone can clean up the workshop. And those editors can easily correct those little grammar errors on material that they don't even understand. But this is important. I have read all of the editors and the peer reviewers' responses to these authors' papers. All right? That means I know what they're concerned about.
And what is that?
They care about the science. Is it conducted correctly? They care about the importance of the findings, and the journals care about their impact factor.
Ah, I see. So reading all those peer reviewers is a big plus.
It sure is. And another big plus is that I am an educated reader. That means that I am the journal's target audience. That's what that means. I need to understand the manuscript, or at least I need to feel that I understand the manuscript. And I won't stop editing until I do. Also, most editors won't talk to their clients, so they just skip the parts they don't understand, changing an A to a the, putting an ing on a verb, right? I care, so I ask questions to get what I need to understand their paper, what the audience needs to understand their paper. And to do this, I often work with my clients in their offices, all over Taiwan actually, in my office, or even online. My ability to speak Chinese helps me do this too, by the way. Generally, if I understand the writer's paper, the audience will understand, and the journal reaches the audience it wants to reach.
James, what do you consider to be your mission?
My mission, let me think about that. I know, when I began editing, I very quickly realized that correct grammar was not going to get my clients' papers published. And as far as I'm concerned, if the papers are not published, my work is meaningless. What good is a correct paper if no one's reading it? So my mission became to produce papers that would be published.
So you make their career your career.
Right. I'm just as happy, just as thrilled as my clients are when they get published.
So, what are the basic problems that non-native English speakers face when writing up research?
Well, my clients' English is okay, but it is their second language. And so they have what we call in linguistics native language interference. You know, you learn a second language with the left brain, and you learn your mother language with the right brain, the heart. The heart will tell you whether something is good or bad, comfortable or uncomfortable. So when you're writing, when a Chinese person is writing English, and then they want to consider, is it good or bad, they start considering it through the Chinese heart. And what will the Chinese heart say? If it sounds like Chinese, it feels good. Same thing with me. I'm a non-native Chinese speaker. I can spend a long time with dictionaries, writing a paragraph in Chinese, and I feel that it is wonderful. But then when I give it to my colleagues or my friends, they go, "Jim, this sounds terrible. It sounds like English." Why? Because I'm using my English heart to judge whether my Chinese is good or bad. That's what happens. My client's English is correct, but it doesn't sound natural sometimes. It almost sounds like Chinese.
And I bet there your knowledge of Chinese help you understand what your clients are trying to say, right?
It sure does. I've been hearing and speaking Chinese since 1974. And I've been correcting the English of Chinese speakers since 1976 when I came to Taiwan. You can be sure that I am a good listener, not a good listener, a good guesser.
Mind reader.
Right. Magic.